Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This is just going to be sort of a impromptu, random discussion. This is going to be about food. It's going to be Food 101. And the reason I am discussing this is because I see this just talked about so often. And I see the worst recommendations for foods out there. Just my experiences with food, what I've learned over the year of just doing lots of research into different types of foods, how to make a decision, what food is best for you. You know, if a new one comes out, if there's a new top dog, if there's someone claiming to have the best food out there, how to actually verify if the food is quality. So today I got a new shipment. And we'll go over that later. I'm sure you guys know what it is. You guys know what I feed. I have it plastered all over my channel. But let me talk about my history with foods. So I started out in this hobby around a year ago. I think it was in September. I got a 75-gallon tank with Mbuna. I was recommended cobalt flakes or something. Those ended up being crap. Got some Omega 1 flakes. Those were crap. Tetra flakes. Those were crap. Tetra cichlid crisp. Those were crap. I got NLS because that was recommended on like cichlid forums and stuff, and like all over the internet they said it was the best stuff ever. So I'm like, oh sweet, I got the best stuff ever. So yeah, I had NLS for a while. I had some trouble with it though. The fish were rejecting it. Some of them just didn't like it. Some of them spit it out. Some of them ate it and they looked at me. They're like, why are you feeding me this? And I was like, that's the best food ever. It's just, I thought it was like a child, you gotta force feed them broccoli, you know? It's healthy for them, but that's just sort of not how it is. If the food is great, high quality, the fish should go after it, they should love it. They don't have the same instinct, they don't have the same like sweet and bitter and just, you know, crave bad, unhealthy foods like humans do. So you really can't be like, oh, the food's unhealthy, that's why they like it so much. No, they like foods that are good for them. In the wild, they are adapted to go after what they smell and what they taste. I don't actually know if they taste. That may be a good topic to research. Hopefully I'm not talking out of my ass here, but yeah, sense of smell is a big one. They can pick it up. As soon as you drop this food in the water, they go after it. But yeah, I tried Hikari as well, tried NLS. So I was feeding NLS for a while. I was sticking with it because everyone's like, oh, it's the best food ever. So of course I thought it was the best food ever because the internet says so. But I was having problems. So Jay Wilson started discussing Northfin and he's like, oh, it's better than NLS. And I'm like, I'm sort of having a hard time believing that because NLS is the best thing ever because everyone says it is on the internet. And the internet is always right, every time, right? No. So yeah, I gave Northfin a shot. This guy right here, where's Cheese? Cheese is my, this guy, here, come up here, stupid. This Taiwan reef right here is the freaking pickiest eater ever, and he's the stupidest fish I've ever had, and I love him. But he does not like anything except Northfin. He ate flake, he hated NLS. He would look at me and spit NLS at the glass and just bounce it off the glass, because he knew. He was like, dude, this is shitty food. So, yeah, I got Northfin and everyone gobbled it right up. And I was like, wow, you know, I was totally skeptical about this, you know, food being better thing because I thought NLS was the best thing in the world. And lo and behold, Northfin is 1,000 times better. Jay compares Northfin and NLS and he's very polite about it. I'm going to be blunt here. NLS compared to Northfin, NLS is dirt. It is junk. It is terrible. And NLS is better than a lot of foods too. That just goes to show like how terrible some off-the-shelf foods are. So yeah, let's just go into why it's better. So I first started thinking about this when I picked up my NLS container and when I picked up my Northfin container. I noticed a big difference. So I opened up the Northfin, I ripped open the bag, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be sweet. You know, I'm gonna look at it. I didn't expect to get a whiff of fish in my face when I opened up this bag. It smelled like the ingredients that were in there. I've never experienced that before. I'm like, wow, this is really strong. It smells like someone made some food at their house, you know? It's like there's like an open pot of just like fish on the stove or something. That's what it smells like. And I open this up, and I'm like, why doesn't this smell? It smells like flour. It's like it's almost scentless. You gotta really put your nose up to it, and it smells like dirt and flour. I'm like, what's the deal with this? The best food in the world. Everyone recommends it. Why does it not smell like fish? And then I started thinking, the reason we have sense of smell is to determine what could be in a substance. If something is healthy, if it's unhealthy, if it's dangerous. So sense of smell is, particles coming off of the food, and you smell them, and that's the makeup of the food or anything else that you're smelling. So I did some research, and I kind of deduced why this doesn't smell like the ingredients on the label. So I have been pretty active in the dry pet food world for a while now. I know some people in the industry. I know some people who know people in the industry, and I've learned a lot about the way dry foods are processed, mainly in dog, cat, and small animal foods. Fish foods are the exact same thing. It comes from the same source. It's the same process, no different. So what actually happens is whole food sources are measured before they are dehydrated. Whole food sources. Say you take a chicken breast and you plop it on the table. It's 100 grams of chicken breast. I would say 80% is going to be water. So you're left with 20% protein content. So that from that whole food source, you're going to get 20 grams of actual dry, dehydrated protein source on there. So when you have 100 grams of chicken or 100 grams of fish, and then you put it into a mixture with 50 grams of wheat flour, you're going to dehydrate that. And while it may say you have 2 times more of your whole food ingredient in the ingredient profile because it's measured before dehydrating, after processing, you have more than 2.5 times as much wheat flour as your protein source in there. Wheat jumps to the first ingredient. That is why this smells like wheat, because in reality, it's not stated on here that it is measured after processing. So I would assume this is measured before processing with these whole food ingredients. The first ingredient on here, if you were to take a mass spectrometer or something to measure the amounts of different chemicals or just proteins in here, it would have the wheat protein be the highest source in here, just the wheat molecule. It would be the highest in here. It would be the number 1 ingredient. But no, it's number 3. It's because these whole food ingredients, this whole Antarctic krill and whole fish, that's all it is, whole fish. Who knows what kind of fish it is too? Could it be unhealthier fish? I don't know, it's just whole fish. But yeah, whole Antarctic krill, which is a great protein source, and whole fish, great protein source, fall below the whole wheat flour when they're processed. I would venture to guess that. It also has spirulina and kelp, which help bring up the protein content. So yeah, that's why it has 34% protein too, with 2 top protein sources. There is no way it would have 34% if those were both meals. That's why the protein content in Northfin is so much higher. It's 40 and 42% versus 34% in here. And they're lacking a lot of the secondary fillers like kelp and spirulina to skyrocket the protein. So we'll discuss that later. So if we read the ingredient profile on the cichlid formula, this is easier to read just because it has multiple ingredients. The first ingredient is whole Antarctic krill meal. It's the meal version instead of the whole version. And a lot of people may be like, oh, meal, it's bad, because you don't want to eat meal. You don't want to go and cook that skillet. It's gross. But it doesn't matter because it's dehydrated in the end product anyways. It doesn't matter if it's whole or if it's meal because it's getting dehydrated somewhere along the line. It's just where it gets dehydrated matters the most. So meal is dehydrated before it is processed by the company who makes the food. So meal is going to stay where it is in the ingredient profile, in the weighted ingredient profile, no matter what you do to it. So whole Antarctic krill meal, high omega-3 herring meal, and whole sardine meal are all above the wheat flour as a binding agent in this food. That is the number 1 reason why this food is so much better than NLS, is because its protein sources are actually accurate. It is where they are stated. And it shows. It's got 6% more protein in it. And yeah, I mean, the kelp and spirulina is much, much lower on the ingredient profile because the meat is so much higher. So kelp and spirulina makes up less of the protein source than the the animal-based protein sources on here. That's why it has a higher protein content. If you broke down where the protein's coming from, this is much better than right here. So that's the reason for it. So yeah, I mean, Northfin, the proof is in the fish. Yeah, I mean, right behind me. They go crazy after any food. It doesn't really matter. I think it's funny, but fish reacting to food is just fish reacting to food. You shouldn't base that, you know, on the quality of the food. They don't actually recognize the bag. But no, the way they go after this stuff, the growth I've seen, the behavior, the lack of sickness, I mean, it is just incredible. My sickness is gone. The growth rates are ridiculous. The behavior is amazing. The aggression is down. It's like they're not hungry. I don't have to feed as much. I feed once every day or once every 2 days, depending on how I feel, how busy I am. And let me tell you, I got 1 kilogram of this stuff too. This Krill Pro is great. I actually did an experiment where I fed the Krill Pro for 10 days straight, and I actually did see a pretty stark increase in the coloration of these fish. I normally don't believe in that kind of stuff. I am not a gimmick kind of guy. I am a cut and dry, there's a fly right there. I'm a cut and dry, like I'll do my research. I will even pull up scientific articles and just completely bypass secondary sources. I will go to primary sources to figure out exactly what is what. Either I've been fooled or this is good food. I did a 10-day just because I actually ran out of this stuff, so I've been feeding the Krill Gold. And you can see how my fish look right now. My deep water half looks ridiculous. He's almost purple, and he's like 3.5 inches long right now. They look like that when they're like 7 inches long. My pheno, he was a subdominant pheno. He's been colored up like crazy. He's got more speckles on him. Everyone is just looking fantastic. Yeah, I mean, this stuff is great. And it's 85% whole Antarctic krill meal, which the 85%, I believe it is saying that it uses more whole Antarctic krill than in the standard Antarctic krill meal. And the fact that it's first on the ingredient list and the protein content is so high means that there is a very high percentage. I would say probably 75%, maybe a little bit less, of this pellet is made of the whole Antarctic krill meal. That's just what I think. This is my experience. These have been my experiences. And with this entire discussion, that is not to say that whole food sources are bad. There are companies that use whole food sources because they want to maintain the highest nutritional integrity of their product. A good place this can be seen is not in the fish food world, because fish food is all crap, let me tell you. A really good place this can be seen is Origin and Evo dog foods. Dog and cat foods, actually. If you look at the Origin 6 fish ingredient profile, it looks like something that resembles a fish food profile. It's got 6 top ingredients with fish, and I believe 2 more. One's like a northern pike, you know, meal or something. It's really good. And they use whole food sources and they use meal. And that's the way to do it. If you can create your ingredient profile to, you have all of your whole food sources, you have multiple whole food sources and very minimal fillers, then that is a good sign that your whole food sources are high in protein and they aren't dropping on the ingredients list once you process them. If you just have one whole food source, like fish, and then you have wheat, and then you have soy, and then you have soybean, and then you have all that crap in there, then spirulina, then kelp, it's not that great. It's really actually pretty bad. And if your protein content is low too, that just means that more and more is coming from that filler that has no protein in it. So that has just been my experience with foods. It's my recommendation. The Krill Pro is probably the best food you can buy on the market right now. Hands down, the best. If you have an all-meal tank, this is as close to hormoning your fish as you're going to get, because they're going to be operating at their tip-top shape. They're going to be completely, on top of all their nutrients. They're going to feel great. Their testosterone is going to increase, and yes, fish do have testosterone just like humans do. That's what hormoning is. They just give them testosterone. It's kind of messed up. But yeah, this is the best food out there. It's going to make them as healthy as possible. You're going to get the best colors from your fish. So with the whole food sources, The next best thing, the thing that beats this, there's only one thing that beats this, and that's if you go to the store. First off, you know what you're doing, because you can make a really bad fish food formula if you go to the store and buy stuff. If you know what you're doing and you go to the store and you buy the proper ingredients and you make a proper ingredient profile with minimal fillers, and it needs to be refrigerated or frozen, that is going to be something that is better than this, as long as it has the micronutrient profile. Micronutrient means vitamins. That's going to be, as soon as it says monotomornolite clay, right after that, the anistaxin, vitamin A, L-ascorbyl acid, the ascorbyl acids, and all the junk that you can't pronounce right after that, that's the vitamin profile. Those make up very, very small percentages of the actual ingredients. So when I say micronutrients, we're talking about vitamins and minerals. So if you can get the right vitamin and mineral content when going to the store, and then you get the right whole protein sources, your fish are going to be very, very healthy. But yeah, the only person that I know doing this, there is one company that's making a very small filler food, and they only have a carnivore formula. I don't know exactly what that is. Just my buddy over at Wonder of Cichlids, Trevor O'Shea, I actually went down there, and he was actually making he was like hamburger patties or something, and he broke them up, just like hamburger patties of just like krill and fish and oils and, you know, all the essential stuff they need. And he just broke them up. He put them in a dehydrator, but he had to refrigerate them, or he had to put them in a freezer. So yeah, I mean, if you got the time and space, and you have your wife or girlfriend, or if you live by yourself or something, if whoever's living with you can put up with the smell of you making that disgusting food, go for it. I'm not shitting on anyone for doing that. That's great. You know, send me some. I don't want to make it. I'll refrigerate it myself. But this is the next best thing. This is why I buy it. It's easy, comes in a dry package, and you support our awesome friend Jay Wilson over, you know, JWill07. He's a great guy. He deserves the business. There's someone else selling this stuff out there right now in the U.S. He is a complete, excuse my language, if you are watching this right now and there's a child right next to you, please cover his ears. He is a douchebag. Do not support that asshole. Just don't. There's one guy selling Northfin. You know who it is. If you need to know, just PM me. I don't want to say it out in public because I look like an asshole. But no, he's a complete douche. Do not support him. Support Jay Wilson. He has fast shipping. He is the guy you want to support. This food is the best. That should be enough of a review and education on how to read food labels. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope I was helpful. If you think I'm an idiot, tell me. If I'm wrong, please tell me so I can edit this. Any input, let me know. If I helped you, let me know. And I'll catch you guys when I give you an update of my new tanks. Thanks for watching, guys.